Okay. So, hello and a very good afternoon, everyone. How are you all? Yes, fantastic. I'm doing great. So, guys, the topic that we have for today is again price output under different forms of market. Price output under different forms of market. Sir, what will be your today's focus? Because that topic, though, from the material that our dear institute had, you had completed. Yes, my dear friends. Today I'll do two things. In the beginning of the class, for the first few minutes, I'll give you a summary of discussion that we have held in that particular chapter. After having given the summary of discussion, you see, what we'll do is we'll practice the back questions, the MCQ questions. Yes, I had done a lot of MCQs that was made by me. Even the back questions, we had done some. Today we'll complete almost all. So yes, having said that, let's start our journey for the day. Okay. So my dear friends, as per the market structure, we had basically discussed four main types of market. Obviously, there were a lot, but four main types of market we had definitely discussed. There was a discussion on perfect competition market. After perfect competition, there was a discussion on monopoly market, and then there was two forms of imperfect competition. The number one was monopolistic competition, and then there you have oligopoly. So guys, we had discussed all these, and there was this one thing that I had mentioned you already, which was that whenever you study monopolistic competition and oligopoly, please remember one thing. You are referring to the world of imperfect competition. You are referring to the world of imperfect competition. You must keep in mind, guys, you are referring to the world of imperfect competition. This is something that you cannot afford to forget. So there it is. These four types of market is what we are discussing on. So let's go at it one by one. Okay, moving on. A quick revision before we start our MCQ discussion for the day. All right, a quick discussion before we start our MCQ discussion. Okay. Number one, perfect competition. Perfect competition, a lot of things we had studied, some of which are as follows. I'll just give the quick highlights. Okay, quick highlights. We had studied that there are large number of buyers and sellers here. Large means very large. Actually, it is wrong to say large. It's very large, or rather infinitely large. Yes, sir, we certainly remember. And what were they selling? Guys, they were selling homogeneous products. You see, they were selling homogeneous products. And guess what? What were you doing in the long run, in the short run here? In the long run, my dear friends, any producer in this market would be earning normal profits only. But what was the case of short run, sir? In the short run, my dear friends, you could be in a position to earn supernormal profits, normal profits, or even incur losses. Okay. Then there was this market, I mean the perfect competition market, which was characterized by the presence of what should I say, I would rather say absence of transportation costs. Okay. And then there was this freedom of E&E, entry and exit. And eventually, my dear friends, my lovely friends, there was one more feature that I could highlight. I'll give you a highlight on is it's a market which is characterized by a lot of price decisions. And who takes these decisions? The price decisions in this kind of market are taken by the market itself. It's not the buyer or it's not the seller, it's the market. So market is the price maker, seller is the price taker. Let me write it down for you all. Seller is the price taker. Most of you must be feeling that, sir, you are going way too fast. Yes, I am, because the purpose is to give you a highlight, not to show you the entire movie itself, right? Okay. So this was a quick highlight on, perfect competition. Sir, I had told you all that there is no, there is no real market, where you would find out that this is the feature. Yes, it resembles a lot, but it's not exactly, the same. in any case, you know. Moving on. So having said all this, perfect competition, next form of market that we were studying, my lovely friends, was monopoly market. In monopoly market, guys, there was a lot of discussion that we had done. Sir, can you tell us what was the discussion, sir? Number one, there is a single seller, and the single seller is selling what? Yes, correct. The single seller is selling product which has no close substitutes in the market, which has no close substitutes in the market. The seller has high degree of control over price. The seller has high degree of control over the price charged in the market. The seller has high degree of control over the price charged in the market. Yes, sir, we had discussed this, that the seller has a high degree of control over price charged in the market. After this, what we had studied was high degree of control over price charged in the market. And uske baad what else we say? What else we say? So see, there was single seller, no substitutes, high degree of control over market. Yes, then there is this interesting point, sir. Okay, correct. So moving on, high degree of control over price. And then what should we say? Another point could be, you know, in the long run, they will only be making supernormal profits. Short run, in their case also, it can be supernormal profit losses, you know. Generally, this is seen. It can be a case of normal profits also. Okay, and the reason behind the monopoly's existence was some barriers to entry. Then we had studied some of the barriers to entry. Sir, can you tell us some of those? Yes, like suppose government has given you some kind of patent, you have obtained some kind of license from the government, you know. Then there is this what should I say, some strategic resource that you are owning, which the government has granted you. So we had discussed this, and this is how our topic, you know, this is how our topic jo hai, you know, proceeded with. Correct? Barriers to entry. Yes, correct. Barriers to entry, this was there. And then we discussed one more thing, which was a monopolist is able to practice price discrimination. What is price discrimination? My dear friend, a situation where for the same product he is charging different prices from different people. He is charging different prices from different people for the same product. And how many types of price discrimination are there? My dear friends, there are 3 degrees of price discrimination. There is first degree price discrimination, there is second degree price discrimination, and then there is third degree price discrimination. Who gave this idea of the 3 degrees? It was Professor Pigo who gave this idea. First degree tells us that you differentiate. First degree tells us that you differentiate consumers, or rather segregate consumers, not on any other basis. You distinguish among them on the basis of their ability to pay. Whoever is able to pay whatever, you try to extract the maximum. Second degree is where, you know, you try to give discounts on bulk purchases, you know, discounts on bulk purchases. There was this second one. And what is the third one here? Let me think of it. Yes, the third one, come on here. Correct, you all are absolutely correct. The third degree price discrimination is a situation where, you know, customer segmentation is done. Like for example, people who are handicapped will be charged lesser fare. People who are normal, you know, not physically handicapped, will be charged a greater fare. So things like this we had studied. Yes, sir. So, sir, this was our discussion on monopoly as well. This was our discussion on monopoly as well. So, to summarize this entire thing in Hindi, perfect competition and monopoly. Perfect competition and monopoly. I will summarize this two in Hindi, then move to monopolistic competition and oligopoly. ठीक है? Okay, sir. Let's go. So, my lovely friends, perfect competition एक ऐसा मार्केट था जहां पर बहुत सारे सेलर्स और बहुत सारे बायर्स थे. हर कोई अपने हिसाब से परफेक्ट नॉलेज पोजेस करता है. इसका मतलब कि प्राइसेस ना तो सेलर डिसाइड करेगा ना बायर. प्राइसेस मार्केट फोर्सेस ऑफ डिमांड एंड सप्लाई डिसाइड करेंगे. यहां पर कोई ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट नहीं था, एंड साथ ही साथ में एंट्री और एग्जिट कोई बैरियर नहीं था. आप मार्केट में एंटर करना चाहते हैं, मोस्ट वेलकम. आप मार्केट से बाहर जाना चाहते हैं, थैंक यू वेरी मच, भागिए. ठीक है. उसके बाद अपने पढ़े थे मोनोपोली मार्केट. व्हाट वी हैड डन हियर वाज, यहां पर अपने पढ़े थे. अच्छा, परफेक्ट कंपटीशन में एक चीज मैं आपको बता दूं, याद दिला दूं कि परफेक्ट कंपटीशन में जो प्रोडक्ट्स बिकने लग रहे थे वो होमोजीनियस थे, मतलब एग्जैक्टली सेम. बिल्कुल भी कोई अंतर नहीं था दो प्रोडक्ट्स के बीच में, प्रोडक्ट्स होमोजीनियस थे, इसका अर्थ है प्रोडक्ट्स एग्जैक्टली सेम थे। बट दोस्तों जब आप मोनोपोली मार्केट में आते हो ना, प्रोडक्ट्स आपके क्लोज सब्स्टिट्यूट्स नहीं होते हैं। कोई भी ऐसा प्रोडक्ट नहीं है बाजार के अंदर जो क्लोज सब्स्टिट्यूट हो। बाजार में केवल एक सेलर है और वही प्रोडक्ट को बेच रहा है, बाजार में केवल एक सेलर है और वही प्रोडक्ट को बेच रहा है। और भी सेलर्स होंगे बट उनके पास वो प्रोडक्ट है ही नहीं आसपास भी, जैसा जो मोनोपोलिस्ट है उसका सेलर है, उसका उसका प्रोडक्ट है। प्राइस पर कंट्रोल है मोनोपोलिस्ट का क्योंकि वो अकेला सेलर है बाजार के अंदर। और फिर हम लोगों ने पढ़ा था तीन तरीके के प्राइस डिस्क्रिमिनेशन होते हैं, फर्स्ट डिग्री, सेकंड डिग्री, थर्ड डिग्री। फर्स्ट डिग्री प्राइस डिस्क्रिमिनेशन का मतलब है, सबसे पहले प्राइस डिस्क्रिमिनेशन का मतलब रिवाइज करते हैं। प्राइस डिस्क्रिमिनेशन का अर्थ होता है कि जब मोनोपोलिस्ट इस बात का फायदा उठाता है कि वो मोनोपोलिस्ट है, वो सिंगल सेलर है, तो वो क्या करता है कि अलग अलग कस्टमर से सेम प्रोडक्ट के अलग अलग प्राइसेस चार्ज करता है। अब इसी को प्राइस डिस्क्रिमिनेशन बोलते हैं। और एक प्रोफेसर पीगो हुआ करते थे जिन्होंने कहा कि भैया देखो प्राइस डिस्क्रिमिनेशन जो है तीन तरीके से बांटे जा सकते हैं। पहला फर्स्ट डिग्री, जिसके दरमियान होता क्या है बेसिकली कि डिस्क्रिमिनेशन का बेसिस ये होता है, डिस्क्रिमिनेशन का बेसिस ये होता है कि आप कितना पे कर सकते हो, जितना पे कर सकते हो दे दीजिए, जैसे डॉक्टर्स लॉयर्स करते हैं काफी बार। सेकंड डिग्री प्राइस डिस्क्रिमिनेशन का मतलब जहां पे आप ज्यादा परचेस करोगे तो डिस्काउंट मिलेगा। और फिर फाइनली आता है जी थर्ड डिग्री प्राइस डिस्क्रिमिनेशन, जहां पे कस्टमर सेगमेंटेशन किया जाता है। कहने का अर्थ ये है कि कस्टमर सेगमेंटेशन का अर्थ ये है कि आज अगर कोई हैंडीकैप्ड क्राउड है तो उससे आप कम चार्ज करोगे, नॉर्मल क्राउड है तो उससे आप ज्यादा चार्ज करोगे। इस तरीके का सेग्रीगेशन जो है उसमें होने लगता है, तो वो हो गया आपका जी थर्ड डिग्री प्राइस डिस्क्रिमिनेशन। सर बात समझ में आ गया? My dear friends, is this revision till here crystal clear? Yes or no? Crystal clear? Yes or no? Come on everyone, so that I can start with monopolistic competition and oligopoly. Yes sir, it seems so. Very good here. Very good, very good, very good. So guys, having said all this, let's move on to our third revisionary topic, which is monopolistic competition. Which is monopolistic competition? After that, the entire day you see is dedicated to discussion on MCQs only. So don't worry. Okay, so let's take. Okay, all right, all right, all right. So now pay attention, everyone. Pay attention, everyone. Okay, pay attention here. Okay, sir, what do you mean? Acha, there is one question. Sir, what do you mean by normal profit? My dear friends, normal profit is a situation where you are able to recover where your revenues are such that you are able to recover both explicit cost and implicit cost. That is normal profit. But supernormal profit is when your revenues are greater than your explicit cost plus implicit cost. Okay, I hope it's crystal clear now. All right, moving on to the third point, as we were discussing monopolistic competition and oligopoly. Great sir, great, great, great. Monopolistic competition. So my dear friends, here there are a large number of firms. In monopolistic competition, there are a large number of firms. But the key thing here is each having their own brand monopoly. Each having their own brand monopoly. So there is brand loyalty that you enjoy. So each having their own brand monopoly. Each having their own brand monopoly. Okay, point number A. And then what is point number B, sir? You know, in addition, point number B could be that here they compete, sellers compete, but it is rather non-price competition. It is rather non-price competition. It means that they compete not by reducing prices. It means they compete not by reducing prices. They compete by, you know, aggressive advertising. Yes, you can go ahead with aggressive advertisement and so on and so forth. Okay, and then there was this discussion on again that in the long run they will make normal profits only. Okay, there is no restriction to entry and exit. Sir, what about the short run? In the short run, my dear friends, they can make normal profits, supernormal profits, or, you know, losses they can incur. Okay, so this is how monopolistic competition, you know, the entire picture works. Okay, yes sir. So this was the discussion, and then finally, my dear friends, after discussing monopolistic competition, we come on to the market of oligopoly, an interesting market. You see, my dear friends, oligopoly is a market form. Oligopoly is a market form which is characterized by few sellers. इस मार्केट फॉर्म में क्या होते हैं कि क्यों कुछ ही सेलर्स होते हैं, अग्रेसिव एडवर्टाइजिंग हो रही होती है, एंड एक खास बात यहां पर देखा गया है, वो है स्ट्रेटेजिक इंटरडिपेंडेंस। स्ट्रेटेजिक इंटरडिपेंडेंस मतलब एक फर्म क्या कर रहा है वो दूसरे फर्म पर ध्यान रहेगा, मीन्स व्हाट वन फर्म इज डूइंग द अदर फर्म विल कीप एन आई ऑन दैट, बिकॉज you know there might be strategy that you will need to adapt as per your competition, so that you are able to be in line with your competition. So strategic interdependence is something that you see here. Okay, aggressive advertisement, few sellers, strategic interdependence. Okay, and then there is this advantage of what we call as economies. Economies of scale, forget about it now, but then we had studied that they have a shape of demand curve called kinked demand curve. This kinked demand curve was named after, yes, economist Paul Sweezy. It's also called the Sweezy model, you see. And then there was this discussion about the demand curve in all the 4 different market forms. So in perfect competition market form, the demand curve was like this, you see. It was the demand curve and everything was like this. But as we move on to the monopoly and monopolistic competition, almost the same. It's just that monopoly was relatively steeper, monopolistic competition was rather flatter, but the demand curve was like this only. There is this AR curve, there is this MR curve, both in both the cases, right? And then eventually we moved on to the oligopoly's kinked demand curve, which somehow resembled this, like this and this. This is how it exactly looked like. So this is what we have discussed so far, guys. Sir, can you please revise monopolistic competition and oligopoly in Hindi as well? Yes, I'll do that for you all. Pay attention. After that, so guys, we are practicing MCQs a lot many, isn't it? So please pay attention, everyone. Okay? Yes, sir, please go ahead. So my dear friends, the question is, what is monopolistic competition? सवाल ये है कि मोनोपोलिस्टिक कंपटीशन क्या है। दोस्तों ये एक ऐसा मार्केट है जहां पे लार्ज नंबर ऑफ सेलर्स है, बायर्स लार्ज नंबर है। हाँ, बट यहां पर परफेक्ट कंपटीशन जैसे इनफाइनाइट सेलर्स नहीं है। यहां पर जो सेलर्स है वो लार्ज नंबर है, बट इनफाइनाइट तो देखो जी बिल्कुल भी नहीं है सर, ठीक है ना। इसके बाद अपने पढ़े कि ये लोग जो प्रोडक्ट्स बेच रहे हैं ना अपना, इनमें कंपटीशन तो है बट साथ में ब्रांड लॉयल्टी भी है। तो ये लोग जब कंपीट करते हैं ना, तो ये लोग प्राइस रिड्यूस करने वाला गेम नहीं खेलते हैं। इन लोग चाहते हैं एडवर्टाइजमेंट एग्रेसिवली करें और भी अलग अलग स्ट्रेटजीज लेते हैं, है ना। इसके बाद अपने लोग आगे बढ़ते हैं, एंड फिर अपने लोगों ने जो डिस्कशन करने लगे थे वो था कि भैया मोनोपोलिस्टिक कंपटीशन के अंदर आप लॉन्ग रन में नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट्स ही अर्न करोगे, शॉर्ट रन में आप कुछ भी अर्न कर सकते हो, सुपर नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट्स या लॉसेस, है ना। ओके, वन ऑफ आवर फ्रेंड्स इज सेइंग, सर इज मोनोपोलिस्टिक डिफरेंट फ्रॉम मोनोपोलिस्ट? यस, मोनोपोलिस्टिक मीन्स मोनोपोलिस्टिक competition and monopolist means monopoly market where there is one seller. Okay sir, okay sir, moving on. फाइनली ओलिगोपॉली मार्केट पे आते हैं। ओलिगोपॉली मार्केट वो मार्केट है दोस्तों जिसमें कुछ सेलर्स हैं, इसीलिए हर सेलर दूसरे सेलर की तरफ नजर रखता है कि वो लोग क्या स्ट्रैटेजी परस्यूज कर रहे हैं। सो देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड स्ट्रैटेजिक इंटरडिपेंडेंस जो आपको देखने मिलेगा, ठीक है ना, क्योंकि आप सामने वाले के स्ट्रैटेजीज पर निर्भर हो। यहां पर पॉल स्वीजी ने कहा था कि किंक्ड डिमांड कर्व होगा। ओके, ऑलराइट सर। और याद रखिएगा मोनोपोली मार्केट में long run, in monopoly markets, in long run it will be super normal profits only, because monopolist will adjust the prices such that he is only earning super normal profits. So please don't give wrong answer. Normal profits in the long run is in the case of monopoly market, is in the case of monopolistic competition and perfect competition. Monopoly long run super normal profits, I hope it's crystal clear यार। मैं उम्मीद करता हूं कि ये crystal clear। Alright guys. So guys, having said that, are we ready to start some MCQs, many MCQs today, around 50 to 60 at least. I am planning to solve. Are you guys ready? Because if you will allow me to, then only I'll be able to start. Come on everyone, what say? Shall we go? Shall we attack? If all of you are ready, please write attack in the chat box. Fatafat everyone. Come on here. Shall we attack? Please write down attack if you are ready. Okay, great. So let's go here. Let's go here. Since all of you friends are ready, let's go ahead, sir. Let's pay attention here. Okay, great. All right then. Let's go. In the following table, what will be the equilibrium market price? Wow, what an easy question. Come on everyone, you will have to tell me. I will not help you. I am not helping you in this one. Come on, yaar, very easy question. Equilibrium price is always achieved when demand is equals to supply. Demand equals to supply, lovely friends, when price is ₹4. So ₹4, option C will be the correct answer. Option C will be the correct answer. Okay. Yes. Oligopoly, you don't need to care what will there be. Mr. Barkatullah, you don't need to care, okay? Okay. So now pay attention everyone, because it can be anything actually. It cannot be determined, because you see the oligopoly firm, there is no defined market graph. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying this, okay? So pay attention. Assume when price is ₹20. Assume when price is ₹20, quantity demanded is 9 units. Okay, so price 20, quantity 9. And when price is 19, quantity is 10. So price has fallen, quantity has risen. As so far, I have understood. Based on this information, what is the marginal revenue resulting from an increase in output? Wow, an amazing question indeed. So total revenue, what was here, dosto? 20 into 9 is 180 total revenue. Yes, because marginal revenue refers to the change in total revenue. So you see, when price was 20 and quantity was 9, total revenue was 20 into 9, 180. But when, price is 19 and quantity demanded is, 10, price into quantity is 190. So guys, total revenue has increased by how much? Yes, it has increased by 10 rupees. You all are absolutely correct. It has increased by 10 rupees. That's what marginal revenue is. That's what marginal revenue is. So 10 rupees is the correct answer here. 10 rupees is the correct answer here. 10 rupees is the correct answer here. Are you with me till here, everybody? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no in the chat. Fatafat guys, fatafat guys. All right, sir, we are ready. Let's go ahead, sir. Great. Indeed, it's great that you all have understood this much. Okay, moving on. Assume that when price is ₹20, quantity demanded is 15 units, and when price is 18, quantity demanded is 16. Okay, seems to be the similar question. 20, 15, so 300 ho gaya. Okay, and when the price is 18, quantity is 16, so 18 into 16. 18 tens are 180, 18 6 are 108. 108 and 180 basically implies 298. Basically implies anywhere around 298. You just calculate, everybody. Come on. 18 10 180 and 18 6. Okay. 18 6 is somewhere around, what should I say? 36. 108. Correct. I am correct. So yes, 108, and then there was this 180. Correct. So friends, having said that, correct. Very good. Very good. It's 288, as you people are correctly stating. So my dear friends, total revenue has gone down from 300 to 288. So there is rather, instead of additional revenue, there is a fall in revenue. So fall is by 12 rupees. So minus 12 is the answer. Minus 12 will be the answer. You people are absolutely correct. Minus 12 will be the answer. You people are absolutely correct. Moving on to number 4, let's see. Suppose a firm is producing a level of output such that marginal revenue is greater than marginal cost. Okay, what should the firm do to maximize profit? Do nothing, hire less labor, increase price, or should increase output? Obviously guys, I have told you all that the condition should be such like for example, if this is marginal revenue, this is marginal cost, condition should be that marginal revenue should be equal to marginal cost. Here we are greater, so it should be further produced so that we are able to take more advantage. The firm should increase output. Till what point, sir? Till when? Till when should output be increased? MR equals to MC. Yes, now you should stop production at MR equals to MC. Beyond that you should not produce, but till you reach the point of MR equals to MC, you should keep taking advantage here. You should not stop production at all. Increase output. Correct. Increase output. Absolutely correct. Let's see. Marginal revenue equals to change in price divided by change in output. Marginal revenue equals to change in price divided by change in output. Wrong. Change in price by change in output. I don't think so. Wrong. Change in quantity divided by change in price. They are saying change in quantity by change in price. Absolute rubbish. Change in P into Q due to 1 unit change in output. Absolutely. P into Q is total revenue due to 1 additional unit of output. Absolutely perfect answer. Change in total revenue. Change in total revenue. Change in total revenue due to 1 additional output is called marginal revenue. Change in total revenue due to 1 additional output is called marginal revenue. Absolutely correct. Moving on. Suppose an interesting question, you see, an interesting question it seems to be. All right, let's see what is going on here. Question number 6, everyone, pay attention. Suppose that a sole proprietor is earning total revenues of rupees 1 lakh. Okay, great job. Now, since the sole proprietor is earning total revenue of 1 lakh and is incurring explicit cost of 75,000, if the owner could work for another company for 30,000 a year, we would conclude that, wow, absolutely fantastic question. You all are answering this. I am not answering this. Come on, everyone. Let's see who is able to give the correct answer. Come on. Yes, see. If we talk about economic cost, 75,000 is explicit cost, that is the firm has to pay, but 30,000 is implicit cost. So 1,05,000, while the revenue is only 1 lakh. So rather the firm is earning economic loss. So there is an economic loss. Very good, yaar. Miss Chaturvedula, very good. Sakshi, Diksha, Himanshu, Avdesh. Correct. You all are absolutely correct. Moving on. Come on, everybody, pay attention. Which of the following is not an essential condition of pure competition? That's an absolutely genius question. You see, absolute essential condition is absence of transportation cost. Because what is pure competition? It is a very small part of perfect competition only where these 3 features are present. Large number of buyers and sellers, homogeneous, freedom of entry and exit. This is important. Large number of buyers and sellers selling homogeneous products, and there is freedom of entry and exit for pure competition. Perfect competition, there are other conditions as well. Perfect knowledge, absence of transportation cost, and etc. So you can say, sir, perfect competition is a broader version of pure competition. Everybody in their chat box, write it down. What is pure competition? A smaller version of perfect competition. Write it down. Pure competition is a smaller version of perfect competition. Please, pure competition is a smaller version of perfect competition. Everybody, you will have to write it down in your chat before I can proceed. Pure competition is a smaller version of perfect competition. Come on, yaar. Very good. A smaller version, correct. Pure competition is a smaller version, and this feature is not present. Yes, there are other features present, like there should be large number of buyers and sellers, freedom of entry and exit, and the selling should be of only homogeneous products. That's correct. What's not correct is absence of transportation cost. Moving on to the point number 8. What is the shape of demand curve for by a firm? Today only I have repeated and revised. Demand curve looks somewhat like this. Arey Baba, the AR curve, the average revenue curve, is what the demand curve is. So don't need to worry. AR curve is the demand curve. Please everybody in the chat box. AR curve is also the demand curve. AR curve is also the demand curve. Everybody in the chat box, write it down immediately. AR curve is the demand curve. Very good. So it's horizontal. It's horizontal, guys, that way. Correct. What is the first order condition for profits of a firm to be maximum? Today only we have discussed. Revised, I mean. MC equals to MR. And the second is MC should cut MR from below. MC should cut MR from below. MC should cut MR from below. So please write it down in the chat, everyone. First profit maximization condition is MC equals to MR. MC equals to MR. Come on, everyone. Write it down, everybody. Great. Sahi. Moving on to point number 10. Moving on to question number 10. I mean, see. Which of the following is not a characteristic of a price taker? So who doesn't have this characteristic? TR equals to P into Q? No. Because they're asking you not what is a characteristic, they're asking you not a characteristic. Negatively sloped demand curve, it's wrong. Because negatively sloped demand curve is somebody who is deciding their own price. That is, they are reducing their price to sell more. This is a negatively sloped demand curve. Here they are reducing their price to sell more. Here they are reducing their price to sell more. Here they are reducing their price to sell more. So my dear friends, absolutely you are wrong if you think some other answer is going to be the correct answer for you all. Here you will have to reduce the prices, guys, to sell more. Correct. So therefore negatively sloped demand curve point is absolutely incorrect. Guys, now my question to you all is that the fact that we have discussed 10 MCQs so far, how many of you have scored 8 or above 8 in the exam, in the test till now? Out of 10. Come on, everyone. Be honest. Okay, great. So yes, a lot of you. Very good here. Very good. So now let's move on to the next question. Which of the following statement is false? They're asking which of the following statement is false. So let's see. Let's pay attention. We have to please make sure find out the wrong statement. Economic cost include opportunity cost. Yes, it does include. Accounting cost only explicit. Yes, accounting cost only records those costs which are resulting in actual cash outflow here. Okay, so that's correct here. Economic profit will always be less than accounting profit if resources are correct. Economic profit will also, see, the reason is accounting profit tells about total revenue minus accounting cost. But as we all know, only accounting cost is not the total cost. You also have to take implicit cost, and therefore economic costs and economic profits will, economic cost will always be more, so economic profit will always be less. Correct. So my dear friends, 11 part D seems to be the correct answer. Why? You all see what that they are saying. They are saying accounting profit equals to total revenue less implicit cost. Wrong. Accounting profit equals to total revenue minus explicit cost. Accounting profit equals to total revenue minus explicit cost. It's not implicit cost. So guys, please remember the same. Please remember the same. Don't make a mistake here. Okay. Yes. Acha. With the given supply curve. Okay, so constant supply curve. A decrease in demand causes. Come on, everyone, you all answer. So there is supply curve here, demand curve here, and now there is decrease in. See, this is the equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity. Yes or no? My graphical technique you all remember. A decrease in demand. What is it that they are saying? A decrease in demand. So demand curve is this one. Now it has shifted to left. So what will happen? Equilibrium price and quantity seems to be falling. Equilibrium price and quantity seems to be falling. So a decrease in the equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity. 12 part C will be the answer. Graph technique, guys, I have taught you earlier only. Yes or no? Yes or no? Is it crystal clear, friends? Yes or no? Come on, yaar. Come on, guys. Yes, sir, you are absolutely correct. Yes, sir, you are absolutely correct. So, guys, moving on. It is assumed in economic theory. Which theory? In economic theory. What is assumed? Let's find it out. You see, it is assumed in economic theory that decision making within the firm is usually undertaken by managers but never by owners. Acha? The ultimate goal of the firm, please pay attention, is to maximize profit regardless firm size or type of business. As the firm size, pay attention, so does its goal. The basic decision making unit of any firm is its owners. So your assumption is only this, that ultimately you may be a large firm or you may be a small firm. You are existing to make more profits, sir. Understood or not? Yes, sir. Correct, sir. Why? Because you see, ultimate goal is in genuine reasons do maximize profits, and that's what it is talking about. Question number 13. Question number 14. Let's see. Pay attention, everyone. Question number 14. Giving you 2 minutes time to think. A very good one. Hint, draw the graph. Hint, draw the graph. Come on here. Now, guys, there is one interesting thing that has taken place. You see, assuming that consumers' income, which affects the demand, decreased, so quantity demanded will fall. Similarly, the number of sellers in the market also decreased, so quantity supplied will fall. So one thing is for sure, quantity will decrease, and therefore this will be the answer. My dear friend, most of you will try to think about price and everything, but it is wrong. Why? Because you don't know. See, here in this case, both demand and supply have decreased, but you don't know which one has decreased by a greater quantity. Only when you know which one has decreased by a greater quantity can you decide upon the price condition, because then you can judge whether there will be a situation of excess demand or excess supply. Otherwise, so you cannot judge only. Otherwise, so you cannot judge only. Got it, sir? So that's why what I'm saying is the quantity will decrease is the correct answer. The quantity will decrease is the correct answer. Correct, sir. Correct, sir. Correct, sir. Moving on. If supply increases in a great proportion than demand, if supply increases in a greater proportion than demand, come on here, what is happening? Now both are increasing. So guys, pay attention. Both are increasing, so quantity will rise. So if somebody is telling quantity will fall, they are wrong. Now pay attention. Quantity will rise. See, now supply increases in a greater fashion. So you see, this is demand, this is supply. Excess supply reduces price. So what will happen is, equilibrium price will be lower and the new equilibrium quantity will be higher, I'll show you with the diagram. You see, demand, supply, original condition, original equilibrium points. But now what is happening is that demand जो है that is reduced, if supply increases in a greater proportion than demand, so demand has also increased. You see the new intersection, but supply has increased in a greater proportion, so the new intersection is taking place here. So you see, this was the original quantity, this is the new quantity, this is the original price, this is the new price. So the correct answer is 15 part D. 15 part D, 15 part D, 15 part D. Yes, correct, 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 correct. So the answer is 15 part D. Guys, till 15 part D, is it crystal clear? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Come on, guys. Is the logic clear? Fatafat, everyone. Very good, yaar. Correct answer. Correct answer. So moving on. Pay attention, guys. Pay attention, everyone. Yes, sir. Let's move on here. The next question is, guys, assuming that the market for goods Z, there is a simultaneous increase in demand and quantity supplied. Wow. The result will be, now see, there is a problem here. There is a problem here in this question. You see, question number 16, what they are telling us is that there is a simultaneous decrease. Okay, simultaneous increase. Yeah, whenever there is an increase in both, quantity will rise. Equilibrium quantity. Very good. Come on, everyone. Congratulations. But the problem is, do you know by how much demand is rising or supply? I mean, who is in a greater जोश? जोश किसमें ज्यादा है आपको नहीं पता. तो एक्सेस डिमांड और एक्सेस सप्लाई का तो लॉजिक ही आपको नहीं क्लियर है. जब एक्सेस डिमांड और सप्लाई क्लियर नहीं हो तो आप प्राइस का चेंज कैसे बताओगे? तो आपका आंसर होगा इक्विलिब्रियम क्वांटिटी तो बढ़ेगा बट प्राइस का पता नहीं. बट प्राइस का पता नहीं. वी डोंट नो बिकॉज यू डोंट नो ना that demand has increased by a greater proportion than supply. Supply has increased in a greater proportion or both of them have increased by the same proportion. You cannot judge it, yaar. You cannot tell this. You don't know this. And having said that, my dear friends, I have pointed out the answer accordingly. Okay, guys. So that's question number 16. That's question number 16. Okay. Let's see what question number 17 tells us and how many of you are able to give a correct answer to the same and how many of you are able to give the correct answer to the same. All right. So let's see here. Question number 17. Suppose the technology for producing personal computer improves and at the same time. So guys, pay attention here. Technology for producing personal computer improves. मतलब ये तो तय है कि supply increase होगा. And at the same time, individuals discover new uses of personal computer so that there is greater utilization of personal computers. Simply speaking, taste and preferences better हो गया तो demand बढ़ गया. ठीक है. Which of the following will help to happen to equilibrium price and quantity? देखो भैया, दोनों इंक्रीज हुआ, कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस. दोनों इंक्रीज हुआ, कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस. मतलब क्वांटिटी तो पक्का बढ़ेगा, क्वांटिटी विल राइज पक्का. बट यार यू डोंट नो दैट विच ऑफ द टू हैज अ ग्रेटर इंपैक्ट. बिकॉज इफ यू सी देयर इज एक्सेस सप्लाई, it will lead to reduction of price. If there is excess demand, it will lead to increase in price. Here you cannot judge and therefore price cannot be determined, but quantity is definitely going to rise. Very good Rohini, very good Diksha, Sanjay, great answer. Ishan, Advait, good answer friend. Mr. Barkatullah, very good answer. Very good, very good, very good. So now let's pay attention here. Which of the following is not a condition of perfect competition? Listen up guys, they are not saying is a condition, they are saying is not a condition of perfect competition. Large number of them, mobility of factors, informative advertisement to ensure that customers have adequate information. Please pay attention yaar, है ना. Freedom of entry and exit into the market. अरे बाबा 18C. Why sir? Because it is characterized by perfect knowledge. The assumption is perfect knowledge. Arey baba, if everybody has perfect knowledge, what do you need advertising for? Baba, advertising is what for? Advertisement's purpose is to create awareness. If everybody is having that knowledge, then why the hell do you need advertising here? Come on. Yes sir, logical. Yes sir, logical. Okay, great. Which of the following is not a characteristic of a perfectly competitive market? Wow, similar question. Large number of firms sahi hai. Output of the firms are perfect substitutes of one another. Correct. They are perfect substitutes because the products are of homogeneous nature. Resources are mobile. Very good. Correct. Perfect mobility of labor. You can use the machine for one purpose or another. That is there. But downward sloping, wrong. The curve is horizontal. The curve is horizontal. The demand curve is horizontal. Everybody please write it down in your chat box that there is a horizontal demand curve. That there is a horizontal demand curve in case of what? In case of a perfectly competitive market. Come on everyone. Come on everyone. You don't need advertising because there is already a lot of perfect knowledge in the previous question. So the answer is downward sloping 1. It's incorrect. It's incorrect. It's incorrect. सही है. Moving on to question number 19. Which of the following is not a characteristic of monopolistic competition? Which of the following is, question number 20 I would rather say. Which of the following is not a characteristic of monopolistic competition? Baba, they have come to monopolistic competition now. Correct sir, correct sir, correct sir. Which of the following is not a characteristic of monopolistic competition? ठीक है. Ease of entry, हाँ ठीक है. Product differentiation, yes, products are somehow different, if not large. Some difference do exist. Some difference does exist. A relatively large number of sellers, yes. Homogeneous product, no. You will not want to show your product as the same as competition's product. Then the customers will buy that. Why the hell will your product be sold? Why will Puma say that its product is as good as Nike or is same as Nike? Doing so is pressing self-destruction. So obviously it will not be the case, and therefore it's not a homogeneous product is a feature of your perfect competition, not in the case of this monopolistic competition that we are discussing in this while. Okay sir, got it sir, got it sir, got it sir, got it sir. Moving on. Monopoly, why does a monopoly arise? Sources of monopoly, we have studied this in our previous class. Let's see, let's find out what is going on here. Monopoly may arise in a product market because a significant important resource is owned by a single firm. Yes. Government has given the patent right. Yes. Cost of production by a single producer more efficient. Yes. And therefore all the above. Correct, correct, correct. Remember, benefits of economies of scale comes only in the long run. What happens here is that when you produce on a large scale in a long run, the per unit cost falls. This benefit of reduction in per unit cost, as I gave you an example, that to manufacture 1 liter Pepsi bottle, since Pepsi is manufacturing on such a large scale, they have to incur only 60 paisa. That, my dear friends, is indicative of the fact that you are talking about economies of scale, and therefore this is the point. Okay, moving on. Number 21. Acha, before I go any further, guys, in this 21 questions, how many of you out of 21 have been able to score at least 16 or more at least? Come on everybody, let's see your names. Fatafat yaar, be honest to yourself yaar. Fatafat. Come on yaar, marking before I move to 22. Yes, you all are correct. Very good. Very good, Advait. Zeba, good work yaar. Aditi, great work yaar. Lakshita, good work. Radhika, okay, well done. Avdesh, can do better. Ishan, good job yaar. Rohini, good job. All right, Anjana, fantastic. So yes, let's move on then yaar. Quite a few of you. So it's great to see. It's great to see. Let's move on yaar. Let's move on yaar. Oligopoly industries are characterized by. Oligopoly industries are characterized by. Come on everyone. Oligopoly industries are characterized by. Guys, there is this secret, one secret that seem to will work for you, is that you practice a lot of questions. And if in all the tests that you give of economics after practicing the questions, if in all the tests you are able to get at least 90% na, then it is sure that in the institute's examination, it is almost sure that in the institute's examination you will get an exemption. It's my observation, you see. Okay, great. Oligopoly industries are characterized by what? Oligopoly industries are characterized by what? So see, a few dominant firms and substantial barriers to entry. Yes. A few large firms and no entry barriers. Yes, it's wrong. The correct answer is yes. There are certain barriers, na? If there were no barrier, then there would have been large firms in this market, and there will be many firms in this market. Why would there only be few firms in the market? You know, I'll give you an example, na? Like we studied this Boeing Airlines or this Airbus, the aircrafts that they manufacture, they have some resource with which they are able to, you know, manufacture this aircrafts, and so certainly there are a lot of barriers to their entry. Certainly there are a lot of barriers to their entry. Correct. Moving on. 23. Let's move on to 23. Okay, let's move on to 23. Okay, price taking firms, that is firms that are operating in a perfectly competitive market, are said to be small relative to the market. Price taking firm, that is firms that operate in a perfectly competitive, are said to be small relative to the market. Which of the following best describe this smallness? Individual firm must have fewer than 10 employees. Acha. Individual firm faces a downward sloping demand curve. Acha. Assets of less than 20 lakh and unable to affect market price through its output decisions. Yes. So these three are obviously wrong. You all are absolutely correct in stating that 23 part D is the correct answer. Only when you are able to affect the market with your output decision, the market price, then you are said to be a big firm. If you are not able to do that, you are a small firm. Nobody cares. Moving on. Let's pay attention here. Let's pay attention to question number 24. For a price taking firm, please pay attention. For a price taking firm, marginal revenue is less than price, marginal revenue is equal to price, marginal revenue is greater than price, or relationship is indeterminate. So see, they are talking about price taking firm. Seems to me they are talking about perfect competition, and you all absolutely know it very well. I have taught you all that for a price taking firm, the diagram is somewhat like P equals to MR equals to AR, because price remains constant, since price is remaining constant, 24B is the correct answer. Market is determining the price, that's all right, but here MR equals to price, because at the end of the day there is no change in price. Now I'll give you an example. Suppose PQ, price is 555, quantity is 1 2 3, so total revenue is what? 5 10 15. What is marginal revenue? First level 5, second level 10 minus 5 5, third level 15 minus 10 5. So price is equal to marginal revenue, yaar. So therefore, you know, 24 part B is absolutely a correct answer. 24 part B is absolutely a correct answer, guys. Isn't it, yaar? Yes, sir. 24 part B is correct. Let's move on to 25th. Come on, everyone. Let's find out what's going on in 25th. Monopolistic competition differs from perfect competition. Acha. Yes, it differs. Correct. Why? Firms can differentiate their products. Yes. Firms can, oh, no. In perfect competition, firms cannot differentiate their product. In monopolistic competition, entry is blocked. No, there is freedom. There are relatively few barriers to entry. Rather, I will disagree. Yeah, there is almost no barriers to entry. So 25 part A is the only correct answer. Because yes, the differentiation of product may be very small. You know, firms may do selling, aggressive selling, advertising. That's all right. But there is some kind of product differentiation prevailing. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes. So 25A. Let's move on to year 26. Then I will see from 21 to 26 in the next 5 questions how you people have done. Let's see. The long run equilibrium outcome in monopolistic competition, okay, and perfect competition are similar, because in both the market structure, because in both the market structure firm will earn only normal profit. I told you all today we have discussed this. Today we have discussed this, that in long run, both in monopolistic and perfect competition, you will only make normal profits because of the entry and exit, free entry and exit of the new firms, free entry and exit of the new firms. Moving on. Which of the following is a distinguishing feature of oligopoly market? Let's find it out. What is a distinguishing feature of an oligopoly market? Let's see. 26. I mean 27. Let's move on to 27. Standardized product. No. Goal of profit maximization. Every firm has the goal of profit maximization. Not a big deal. Yes. Strategic interdependence. Guys, if you remember, I told you last day, strategic interdependence is a very unique feature. So please write it down in the chat, everyone. Strategic interdependence is a unique feature of oligopoly. Strategic interdependence is a unique feature of oligopoly. Everybody in the chat, write down right now. Strategic interdependence is a unique feature of oligopoly. Strategic interdependence is a unique feature of oligopoly. Everybody in the chat, write down right now. Come on, yaar, I'm waiting. Only then I'll move forward. Come on, guys. Correct. So now let's move on here. In which form of the market structure is the degree of control over the price or its product by a firm very large? In which form of the market structure degree of control of a price of its product by a firm over the price of its product very large? Oh, so control over price. Yaar, control over price. Very good. Control over price. Who has large control? Yaar, the lesser the seller, the more the control. So yes, monopoly is the best market to give that answer. So monopoly market is your answer. Yes, there is some control in monopolistic competition and oligopoly also, but largest control is in monopoly. And next 29th, today I have revised with you. I will be very sad if you don't answer this correct, yaar. Average revenue curve is also known as. Come on, yaar. You friends have to answer it correctly, yaar. Otherwise, I will not talk to you. Otherwise, I will be very angry today. It's not good. Yes, correct. Average revenue curve is also known as. Correct. Average revenue curve is also known as. Average revenue curve is also known as demand curve. What? Demand curve. What? Demand curve. What? Demand curve. Yes. So guys, please remember. I'll tell you one thing. What, you know, there is a concept, there is a technique. In Hindi there is a word called fear. In English it is fear. In Hindi we call it dar. Dar. Everybody write down in the chat. Dar. D-A-R. Dar. D-A-R. Dar. Here I don't mean fear, but in Hindi it means this is a Hindi word dar, which in English means fear. Write down in the chat, everybody. Dar. D-A-R. Dar. And the full form is demand is equals to average revenue. Demand curve is nothing but average revenue curve. You cannot forget this. DAR. Dar. Demand curve is as the same as average revenue curve. Average revenue curve. Okay. Yes or no? Everyone. Yes or no? Correct. Moving on. Under which of the following forms of market structure does a firm have no control over the price of its product? Oh my god, they are telling that there is no control whatsoever. Yeah, it has to be perfect competition, because here it's the market forces of demand and supply that has complete control. You see, it's the market forces of demand and supply, you see, that's having the complete control. Correct, sir. So guys, having discussed 30 MCQs so far, how many of you think you have scored above 24 out of 30? Above 24 out of 30. Come on, everybody. I need you all to inform me here. Fatafat. Come on, everybody. Guys, if you are unable to, there is nothing to panic about. It simply means that you might not have studied the institute's material, or you might not have attended our previous lecture. So please make sure attending the previous lectures is as important as attending the present one. So if you missed it out, watch the recording. Okay? Yes. So now let's pay attention. Let's pay attention. Discriminating monopoly implies that the monopolist charges a different price for his commodity from different groups of consumers. Okay, it's not bad. Let's see. For different uses at different places. Yes, it can be any. It can be any, it doesn't matter. It can be any, it doesn't matter, yeah. So it's correct, yeah, it's correct. So therefore, discriminating monopoly implies that the monopolist charge different prices. Any of the above can be true. It can be from different groups. It can be for different users. Like for example, electricity bill. If you are using for house domestic purpose, the rates vary. But if you are using for commercial office purpose, rates will be a little more. At different places, yes. In a village, the price of a product may be different. In a city, it may be different. So it is correct here. So therefore, price discrimination can be charging different prices from different consumers as per situations or as per the time period. It can be anything here, or as per the area. It can be anything. All right, correct. Price discrimination. Now, conditions for price discrimination we had studied in our last class. Conditions for price discrimination we had studied in our last class. Let me revise with you the different conditions. Number one, it is possible to divide sub-markets. Point number two, price sensitivity and elasticity should be different in each sub-market. What was the next point? That, my dear friends, there should be no arbitrage or resell possibility. See which one they are talking about here. Price discrimination will be profitable only if elasticity on different sub-markets is, yes, different. Elasticity is different. Correct. So price discrimination will be profitable only if elasticity is different. Why less? Are Baba, elasticity has to be different in different sub-markets, na? Correct, sir. Correct, sir. Correct, sir. In the context of oligopoly, what is it referring to? The king demand hypothesis is designed to explain the price rigidity. King demand curve, you remember? It explains price rigidity. You remember I told you that if a firm is deciding to reduce their price, other firms will do that. But if they are trying to increase their price, other firms won't copy. So that's the concept of price rigidity. That's the concept of price rigidity, lovely friends. That's the concept of price rigidity, lovely friends. Wow, sir. Wow. Amazing. It's amazing. Let's move on to the next point, guys. Let's see what is going on here. The firm in a perfectly competitive market is a price taker. Yes, correct. Guys, please remember, sometimes you have to wait and think. Just don't come to the answer, jump onto the answer straight away. That's very disastrous. Okay. Correct. It's a price taker. This designation as a price taker is based on the assumption that firm has some but not complete. Wrong. There are so many bad that the individual firm cannot affect the market. Correct. It seems correct. There is nothing wrong with the logic. Each firm produces a homogeneous product. Doesn't matter. There is easy entry into exit from the market. Yes. Are Baba, C and D are correct features. Don't start fighting. Yes, they are correct features. But what is the question asking? That they are price taker. Why are they price taker? Because they have no power to influence the market output. And that's the reason. Just because some other points are correct doesn't mean they explain the logic. Doesn't mean they explain the logic. Suppose I'll tell you that suppose there is Miss Sneha. I'm giving you an example, Miss Sneha. Okay, Miss Sneha topped her examination because A, she studied hard, B, she is a girl. Arey Baba, both the statements are correct. But according to the given statement, which one justifies the logic? It is because she studied hard, that's why she stood first. Or maybe she topped. So just because the sentence is correct, just because point C and D is correct, doesn't, somehow indicate that they are correct answer. It has to be the question statement that has to be in line with the logic stated. Please remember everybody. Okay, yes sir, yes sir. So it's 34 part B. It's 34 part B. Come on everyone, it's 34 part B. Guys, is it crystal clear yaar? So Diksha, it's not bad, but you need to work hard. You need to work hard. You need to watch the previous missing classes yaar. Okay, go ahead. Let's go ahead, sir. Suppose that the demand for XYZ company slope downwards and to the right. Okay, correct, sir. Correct, sir. Correct, sir. Suppose that the demand curve for XYZ company slopes downwards and to the right. Okay, we can conclude that the firm is operating. No. Perfectly competitive. It would have been like this, horizontal. The firm sell all that it wants to at the established market price, but it's wrong. The XYZ company is not a price taker in the market because it must lower price to sell additional unit. Seems correct. Absolutely. It means you have to reduce the price to sell more. Very good, Mr. Barkatullah. Now moving on. Wow, some interesting question we are able to see here. Question number 36. Question number 36. If firm is in the toothpaste industry, have the following market shares, which market structure would best describe the industry? Acha, if firm is in toothpaste industry, 18.7, 14, okay. So yeah, I can see only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are only 7 sellers that I can see of the product as of now. If you all see more, let me know. So yeah, it's few sellers. It's not many sellers. So if it's not many sellers, it can't be monopolistic competition. It can't be perfect competition. There is not a single seller, so it can't be monopoly. It has to be oligopoly. Yaar. Why? Because of the condition of few sellers. Because of the condition of few sellers. Because monopolistic competition also has a large number of sellers. So it's not there yet. It's not there here at least. Yes or no? Okay, sir. Moving on. The kinked demand curve of the oligopoly assumes that response to a price increase is less than response to a price decrease. Response to a price increase is less than response to a price decrease. Response to a price increase is less than response to a price increase is more than the response to a price decrease. Yes, yaar. Yes, it's correct, yaar. So the correct answer is 37B. The response of consumers to a price increase is more, because if you increase the price, consumers will run away from you. They will move on to other sellers. But if you reduce the price, others also have done the same thing. Others have also done the same thing. So therefore 37 part B. 37 part B is the correct answer. 37 part B is the correct answer. अरे भैया आप ये समझो ना कि जब आपने प्राइस बढ़ाया तो कंज्यूमर्स तो बहुत जोर से आपसे गुस्सा होंगे और भाग जाएंगे दूसरे सेलर्स के पास. लेकिन अगर आप प्राइस घटाएंगे तो कंज्यूमर बहुत जोर से आपका नहीं बढ़ेगा. पता है क्यों सर? क्यों? क्योंकि बाकी सेलर्स भी तो प्राइस कम कर लिए ना. स्ट्रेटेजिक इंटरडिपेंडेंस है. इस वजह से आई टोल्ड यू दैट response to a price increase is more than the response to a price decrease. Okay, fantastic. Moving on to your question number 38. Let's see what we can encounter here. Let's see. A firm encounters its shutdown point. Yes, shutdown point. When a firm is able to not even recover the variable costs from its product. Let's see whether we are having this as an option or not, because you don't know what it is. Average total cost equals to price. Now, if average total cost is equals to price, re baba, array, this will mean if average total cost equal to price, baba, this will mean break even point. Oh, ha. If average cost, variable cost is equals to price, yes, now you are correct. Now you are talking about shutdown point. So this though not relevant at all. So correct answer is 38B. 38B is the correct answer. 38B is the correct answer. Okay, let's move on to the next two questions. Let's see what we are able to achieve in these two questions. Okay, suppose that at the profit maximizing level of output, अच्छा ठीक है, profit maximizing output है, A firm finds that market price is less than average total cost. Huh? A firm finds that market price is less than total cost. Oh my god! But greater than average variable cost. Okay, which is correct? Firm should shut down in order to minimize losses. No, because the firm is able to recover variable cost. Yeah, so why do you need to shut down? You don't need to shut down. You don't need to shut down. Huh. Firm should raise its price enough to cover its losses. No, because in the short run you don't change price. Firm should move its resources to another industry. Nah, Baba, nah. Array, you are able to recover your variable cost. So in D, operate in the short run in order to minimize losses. Continue to operate because at least you will be able to recover your fixed cost to some extent. And therefore it's D that is correct. D is correct. It's short run that we are talking about. It's short run that we are talking about. Moving on. When price is less than AVC, a firm should, yes, stop, go home, stop, shut down. So point number 40 is shut down since it cannot you even recover variable cost. Array Baba, price equals to AVC, that's the shutdown point. Price equals to AC, that's the break even point. Understood or not here? So if you are below this point, Baba, you are unable to recover your variable cost. Go home. Play PUBG, but don't produce. Price equals to average variable cost is the shutdown point, guys. Understood? Yes. A purely competitive firm. Come on, yaar. It's not perfect competition. It's pure competition. Please pay attention, yaar. Okay. Supply schedule in the short run is determined by, yes, you have seen it. Pure competition and perfect competition similar in that sense. I have told you supply curve is the part of MC curve, is a part of MC curve. Supply curve is a part of MC curve which lies above the average variable cost point. That is the point at which price is equal to average variable cost. Above that point, I have told you, yaar, in the class. Come on, yaar, yes or no? So it's a part of MC curve. It's a part of MC curve, yaar. It's a part of MC curve, yaar. It's a part of MC curve, yaar. Come on, everybody. Come on, yaar. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, let's go on. One characteristic not typical of an oligopolistic industry is, one characteristic not typical of an oligopolistic industry is horizontal demand curve. Too much importance to non-price price leadership, a small number of firms in the industry. So yeah, obviously horizontal demand curve, it's not happening. No, it's not happening because its demand curve is kinked somehow like this, indeterminate demand curve, price rigidity. So therefore it's wrong. Okay. Now structure of toothpaste industry in India. Yeah, toothpaste, not everybody is manufacturing. Somehow, yes, there are many sellers. Yes, you are correct. There are many sellers. Yes, Sahajpreet, here pure competition is talking about perfect competition only. You are correct that way. So yes, structure of toothpaste industry in India is monopolistic competition, yeah. Because there are large number of sellers, large number of brands, selling toothpaste. In a world where you are not given how many sellers are there. General logic tells us there are many. Had this been aircraft, had the question been about aircraft, it would have been oligopoly. Structure of cold drink industry, yes, cold drink is oligopolistic because it's either the PepsiCo or the Coca-Cola Inc. That's the leading. So the two are the main. So therefore there are limited number of sellers, and therefore you are quite justified in answering oligopolistic, in giving answer as oligopolistic. Okay. Next, which of the following statements is incorrect? What they're asking is very good. Very good. Which of the following statement is incorrect? Even a monopolistic firm can have losses. Is incorrect. Yes, monopolistic firm can have losses. Firm is in a perfectly competitive, are price takers. Yes. Oh, they are asking about incorrect. So these two are correct. It is always beneficial to discriminate prices. Yaar, what are you talking? What rubbish is going on here? You cannot discriminate in prices because market is deciding the prices. You are the price taker. How can you decide the prices, sir? How can you be the price taker? So yes, this is correct, sir. So my dear friends, till now we have discussed 45 questions. I'll need your scores, please. Everybody tell your scores, please. Come on, everyone. How much do you think you have scored? If you have not even calculated, you must have an approximate idea. So I'll need your answers, please. Come on. I need to see what is the performance like. Khushdeep is saying they have scored, oh my god. Khushdeep has scored 43 out of 45. Wow. Great, great, yaar. What about other friends, other lovely friends? Come on, yaar. Okay. So most of the scores that I see are in the range of 40. I mean 38 to 40. I mean 35 to 40. Yes. So 35 to 42 is what the marks I have seen. So it's all right, guys. Those who have scored between 35 to 40, you are doing good. Just a little more reading into the material. Just a more reading into the material, and you will be almost perfect. Okay. Let's move on here. Let's move on. Doesn't matter. Okay. Under perfect competition, long run, there will be no. What students make mistake, I'll tell you. Oh, perfect competition long run, sir told normal profits only. But you have forgot. I told there will be there will be normal profit, but they have said no. So yes, the answer will be there will be no super normal profits. You see how institute has tricked you? Correct. Correct. So it's 46 will be C, because what they have said no. They have said no. So there will be no supernormal profits now, because be it perfect competition or be it monopolistic competition, in the long run they are making normal profits only. In the long run they are making normal profits only. Yeah. In the long run they are making normal profits only. Yeah. Correct, sir. Correct, sir. Correct, sir. When dash equals to dash, we note that firms are earning just normal profits. So they are talking about when you are making normal profits. Yes, when your average cost is equals to average revenue. Arey baba, MC equals to MR is the profit maximizing condition. MC equals to AC is nothing. AR equals to MR is nothing. So it's AC equals to AR here. AC equals to AR. Okay, great. Moving on. When dash, we know that firms under perfect competition must be producing at minimum point of AC, and so there will be productive efficiency. There will be productive efficiency. I mean, you will produce at the lowest cost. That means you will be producing at the lowest possible cost. At the lowest possible cost. Minimum point of average cost curve. Arey Baba, you have studied that MC cuts AC at its minimum point. So the minimum point of average cost is a point where MC is equals to AC, because MC curve AC at its minimum point. MC cuts 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 AC at its minimum point. Please remember. And therefore the logic is correct here. Most students write MC equals to MR wrong. What they're asking is at the minimum point of AC curve. So it has to be MC equals to AC na. You have to apply this. Moving on to the next question here. Let's see what is your answer here. When dash, there will be allocative efficiency, meaning cost of last unit is equal to the price consumers are willing to pay for it, and so that the right goods are being sold to the right people at the right price. Right goods, right people, right price. So yaar, if that is happening, pay attention yaar, meaning thereby that the cost of last unit is equal to the price, that is price equals to marginal cost. Arey baba, now price is also called average revenue. So the answer is MC equals to AR. Wow. indeed an amazing question asked by institute, because I have told you all in the class, last 2 to 3 classes consistently I have told you. So therefore it will be 49C, 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 because AR is nothing but because AR is nothing but price. 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 Correct? Yes, sir, you are correct. Yes, sir, you are correct. So therefore the question's answer MC equals to AR is absolutely correct. Let's move on to the next one here. Question number 50. Okay. Agricultural goods market depicts agricultural markets, or the vegetable markets that we commonly call as, they resemble perfect competition to a large extent. They resemble perfect competition to a very large extent, and therefore you are correct in saying so. Therefore you are correct in saying so. Correct, sir. Correct, sir. So guys, 50 questions done. I will need your status report. What do you think you have done? How do you think you have done? What have your scores been? Can I know it here? Fatafat. Just a brief idea I need. Just a brief idea I need. All right here. Great. Which of the following, moving on here. Okay, go ahead, sir. Let's go ahead here. Which of the following is not a characteristic of a competitive market? It did a good one. They are telling us not a characteristic of competitive market. What are they saying? Not a characteristic of a competitive market. There are many buyers and sellers. Yes, in a competitive market there will be. The good offer for sales are largely the same. Yes. Only then there is competition. Had there been difference in goods, you would have been a monopoly. Okay. Okay, go ahead, sir. Moving on. Now, firms generate small but positive supernormal profits in the long run. Wrong. Arey baba. Perfect competition, monopolistic competition, you have seen. In the long run, you will make only normal profits. Because if in the short run you are making supernormal profits, new firms will enter the market. That's the logic. In the long run, if you are a competitive firm, if you don't have any competition, that's a different thing. Then you will make supernormal profits in the long run, like the firm in a monopoly market. But otherwise, my dear friends, it's the normal profits. It's the normal profits in the long run. And therefore, C is the answer. Because C is not a feature closely resembling any of these stated already. Not resembling any of this stated already, sir. Moving on. Which of the following markets was most closely, come on. Which of the following markets would most closely satisfy the requirement for a perfectly competitive market? Okay, most close. Take electricity, 50, let's see. Cable, cola, no, milk. Because milk is largely homogeneous in nature. Remember, products like milk, agricultural products, all these will resemble perfectly competitive market. But are they exactly perfectly competitive market? Definitely not. Definitely they are not exactly perfectly competitive market. So don't even bother stating that as your answer. It's not the correct thing to say. Moving on. Which of the following is accurate regarding a perfectly competitive firm? Which of the following statements is accurate regarding a perfectly competitive firm? Which of the following statements is accurate regarding a perfectly competitive firm? Accurate. Okay, regarding a perfectly competitive firm. Okay. Downward sloping demand curve, no, it's horizontal. Demand curve lies above the MR curve, no. Average revenue need not be equal to price, is accurate. Price is given and determined by equilibrium in the entire market. Correct. Price is given means price is constant. Price is given means, friends, price is constant. So it's absolutely correct. 53D is absolutely correct. 53D is absolutely correct. Because price is constant here. In a perfectly competitive market, price is constant. So it's not wrong to say that this is the correct answer. moving on here, moving on. Let's go ahead and let's see what else is going on here with us. Let's see to the next question here. Question number 54. Okay. The market for hand tools such as hammers and screwdrivers is dominated by Draper, Stanley and Craftsman. Oh, so there are three sellers. Oligopoly market. I don't need to study the question only. If it's only few, it has to be an oligopoly market. There is no need to apply much of your brains into this, because there are few sellers of the product. Because there are few sellers of the product here, obviously. Correct. Let's move on to the next one, guys. Let's see what is going on. A market structure in which many firms sell products that are similar but not identical. See what they are saying. Products are similar, not identical. Had they been exactly identical, it would have been perfect competition. Monopoly, no close substitutes, so no identity. But yes, now the competition is between these two. So it's monopolistic competition. Because in oligopoly, there can be either no product differentiation or there can be very large product differentiation. So oligopoly, you cannot be certain. Oligopoly, you can never be certain about your answer, and therefore I have moved to 56 now. Let's see. Come on here. 56, let's see. When an oligopolist individually chooses its level of production to maximize the profit, it charges a price that is, pay attention, more than charged by either monopoly, less than price charged by monopoly, more than the price charged by monopoly and less than the price charged by competitive market. Pay attention, everyone. Less than the price charged by monopoly and more than the price charged by a competitive market. Yes, you are correct. To maximize its profit, yes, your objective is profit maximization. So obviously you will charge more, but you will not charge like as if you are a monopoly, because then your competition may shift, then your customers may shift to your competition. Then it is wrong. But otherwise, yes, you can charge it less than monopoly, but more than what your competition is charging, because your objective is profit maximization. It's all right. In the long run of a competitive market, firms operate at intersection of MC and MR. In the long run, is the firm intersecting? Yes, correct. MC equals to MR, because you see, yes, it's correct here. Their efficient scale, yes. Zero economic profit, correct. Zero economic profit means firms are only making normal profits. Zero economic profit means normal profit. Zero economic profit means normal profit. Zero economic profit means normal profit. Means you are able to recover, your revenues are able to recover your implicit costs as well as your implicit costs. So therefore, this is the correct answer, you see. Which of the following is not a characteristic of monopolistically competitive market? अच्छा ठीक है, मोनोपोलिस्टिक कंपटीशन का बात चल रहा है. अच्छा, तो नॉट अ कैरेक्टरिस्टिक बोल रहा है. ओके, फ्री एंट्री एंड फ्री एग्जिट हाँ है. अब नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट्स इन द लॉन्ग रन, यस, इट इज नॉट अ कैरेक्टरिस्टिक, बिकॉज यार लॉन्ग रन में तो कंपटीशन हो, आप मोनोपोलिस्टिक फर्म हो तो नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट्स ही होगा आपका. लॉन्ग रन में इफ यू आर अ कंपटीशन, आई हैव डिस्कस्ड इट इन टुडेस डिस्कशन only, I mean 5 to 10 times, that if you are a competitive firm, in the long run you will only be making normal profits. There is no question of supernormal profits yaar. No question of supernormal profits yaar. Can't happen. अच्छा चलो आगे बात करते हैं. Let's move on here. Let's see what is going on further. In a very short period. अच्छा, in a very short period, ठीक है. Supply is fixed, हाँ ठीक है. Supply is fixed 59, correct है. Correct, the supply is fixed. We don't talk about demand, because in short run, very short period also people are demanding things. So it's not wrong. It's not incorrect, and therefore supply is fixed. Very short, supply fixed. Very short, supply fixed. Very short, supply fixed. Very short, supply fixed. Correct answer. 60. Time element. Okay. So which of the economists introduced time element? Is it Smith? No. Smith gave us the definition of economics, the first definition. Pigot gave us the price discriminating feature. Robinson gave us the scarcity definition. It's Alfred Marshall who is the correct answer. Who gave us the law of diminishing marginal utility? and also time element. So 60B, 60B, 60B is the correct answer. Yes, Ishan. Haha. Total revenue equals to what? Price into quantity. Come on, yaar. You have got to be joking. Total revenue is equals to price into quantity. Come on. Total revenue equals to price into quantity. Correct answer. Guys, we have done approximately 61 questions till now. What do you think are your scores out of 61? Come on, yaar. I need your scores, fatafat. Your scores, please, everybody. Yes, it seems perfect. It seems perfect to me. So let's see. Average revenue is the revenue earned per unit of input. Arey, how can you earn any revenue by input? Per unit of output na. Arey baba, average revenue is price. Only when you sell, that is there is output, then only you are making the revenue. So how come you are saying this? Okay, sir. Okay, great. Let's see. AR can be simply written as obviously total revenue by quantity. I don't need to see other options as well. We don't need that. Okay, so average revenue is much like price, and that is equivalent to total revenue by quantity sold. AR is also known as, see, I told you, price. So about AR, you can write two things, par and dar. Dar is in the case of demand curve, par is in the case of price equals to average revenue. But the curve, if you talk about demand curve, its demand is equals to average revenue. Demand is equals to average revenue. So if you talk about curve, dar. But if you talk about the meaning, price is equals to average revenue. So see, it is there. Now moving on. Let's see what else is happening around. 65. Let's see 65. Okay. Marginal revenue can be defined as change in total revenue resulting from purchasing. Purchasing, so it will be cost na. Sales of an additional unit of commodity. Yes. Like for example, if when you have sold 2 units and total revenue is 100, and if you have sold 3 units and total revenue is 140, so your marginal revenue for the third unit will be 40 rupees, and that's what explains the logic here. So therefore sales of additional unit of a commodity. So that's correct here. 65 ka B will be the answer. Okay, next is 66 here. When E is greater than this, when E is greater than 1, so you see MR equals to AR into E minus 1 by E. Arey baba, so it has been greater than 1. So if E is greater than 1, all this will be giving positive values, and so MR will be positive. It's correct here. When E is greater than 1, we have done this relation here. Don't tell me we have not learned this. Come on here, we have done this. But when E equals to 1, now come on here, AR, instead of E put 1, E minus 1 by E, so MR equals to AR into 0, so AR into 0 is 0, so MR will be 0. So when E is 1, MR is 0. 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 Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, go ahead. Now moving on. If E is less than 1, come on yaar. If E is less than 1, you have got to get a negative value. Sir, why? Because you see AR into E minus 1 by E. Arey baba, if numerator becomes negative, because E is less than 1, so therefore entire thing will perish and therefore become negative. So 68 part A is the correct answer that way. In economics, wow, after so long the definition of market they are asking. Great. So 69, let's see. The term market refers to place where buyer and seller meet and strike a deal. This was my first definition when we started market. So you are absolutely correct. Place where buyer and seller meet and strike a deal regarding price and quantity. Place where buyer and seller are meeting to strike a deal regarding the price and quantity to be bought and sold. Place where the buyer and sellers are meeting to strike a deal regarding the quantity and the price at which the buying and selling will take place. The price and the quantity at which the buying and selling will take place. Okay, let's see number 70. Let's see number 70. Okay, let's see number 70. Under perfect competition the firm is price maker. No, they are price taker. हाँ सही है. So part B is the answer here. They are price takers, not price makers, because they have to take price from the market. Who is the price maker, guys? Market is the price maker. Everybody in the chat, write it down. Market is the price maker. 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 In the case of perfect competition, obviously. In the case of perfect competition, obviously. So, guys, 70 questions done. Your scores, please, everyone, because I'll be asking your scores. Come on, everyone. Correct. Great. So have a look here. A monopolist is a price maker, yes, because nobody is around the monopolist to challenge him or her that you cannot decide your own price. They bloody can. So a monopolist is indeed a price maker. They are absolutely correct. Price discrimination is one of the features of monopoly. 72. Come on here. Under monopoly, the degree of control over price is very considerable. Because you are only the single seller, yaar. If you are only the single seller, obviously you will have to have a larger control over the price. It's correct. So there is a considerable control over price. There is no doubt in that. Moving on. Next question, let's move on here. Generally, perishable commodities like butter, etc. Obviously, will have local market. You won't buy it from some other region, yaar. You will buy it locally because they are perishable. So you will want to buy it as fast as possible. Very good question. My favorite question is question number 75 till now, because this will clear a lot of concepts. At price P1, okay, the firm would produce at price P1, the firm in the figure would produce. See, pay attention here. See, price P1 is below the average variable cost. You see, I'll show the average variable cost curve. You see, it's in the red line. This is the AVC, and now you see the price level. It's below AVC. Arey Baba, when price is less than AVC, what advice do we give? कि बाबा shut down, तुमसे ना हो पाएगा, shut down. Friends, shut down. So zero output. Very good question. Zero output is what we'll advise. Okay. Guys, then the topic has shifted to secular period. It's very long period here. It's a period which is very, very long. Very, very long period. So that's secular period for you all. Stock exchange market is an example of obviously regulated market, because SEBI is sitting over the head of stock exchanges, ensuring that there is no foul play, no misadventure going on. So it's correct. Regulated market. The market for ultimate consumer is known as retail market, because it is this market, the local shops that we have, the kirana shops. It's retail market only, na? Because there the ultimate consumers are going to make their purchases. Yes, sir. Condition for pure competition is yes, correct. See, both A and B, and 79. What is D? You see, large number of perfect knowledge. No, perfect knowledge is not necessary. So both A and B. Yes, one more. Large number of balance sellers, free entry and exit, and homogeneous. Only these three. Okay. All right, sir. Pure oligopoly is based on dash products. Arey Baba, pure oligopoly is homogeneous products like iron and steel. Arey Baba, if two firms are selling iron and steel, how will they be different? It's just that they are two different firms, and therefore it's homogeneous products. And then we call it a pure oligopoly. Then we call it here a pure oligopoly. Let's move on here. Let's move on here. In oligopoly, so guys, 80 questions done. 80 questions done. It's indeed a good achievement for all of us. Don't you think the same, guys? In oligopoly, when the industry is dominated by one large firm which is considered as the leader, then it is called, yes, it is, yes, then we call it as, it's a partial oligopoly, because in the real sense there is one monopolist also, that is the leader. So there is partial oligopoly. When the products are sold through a centralized body, okay, not directly, through a centralized body, what is that centralized body called? It's called a syndicate, and therefore it's a syndicated oligopoly. Straight question indeed. When the monopoly divides the consumer into separate sub-markets and charges under different sub-markets, it is which, see, you are dividing it. So it's third degree price discrimination. In first degree, you are charging on the basis of ability to pay. In second, you are based on the charging on the basis of how much you purchase. So 83 part C is the logical answer. Under this, will fix a price which will take away the entire consumer surplus. Yes, it's the first degree price discrimination. Simply meaning take away the entire consumer surplus basically means that you are charging the maximum amount which the consumers are willing to pay. Consumer surplus is when consumers have to pay less than what they are able to pay. If I am ready to pay 80 and I have to pay 70, that is consumer surplus 10 rupees. But if the seller is charging 80 only, that's me having zero consumer surplus, and that's the case of first degree of price discrimination. So under first degree, charge on the maximum ability to pay, and therefore consumer surplus will be zero. First degree, zero consumer surplus. First degree, zero consumer surplus. Everybody in the chat, write it down. First degree, zero consumer surplus. Everybody in the chat, please. First degree, zero consumer surplus. Price discrimination can be time, can be based on income, size. So the answer will be any of the above. 85 ka. 85 ka, this one will be. Now guys, I'll try to do the reverse, because we have been doing one way only. Let's now reverse the process and let's see what is going on. Price varies by attributes such as location or by customer segment. That is, guys, third degree price discrimination. Combination of monopoly market and monopoly is bilateral monopoly. One seller, one buyer. Squeezy model oligopoly market, kink demand kar. Price discrimination cannot persist under the following market form. Price discrimination, you cannot charge different prices from different consumers. Under which market form? Obviously perfect competition. Why? Because there is perfect knowledge. Why? Because there is perfect knowledge. Natural monopoly arises when you have a large amount of economies of scale. Economies of scale means you produce so huge, like Coca-Cola and Pepsi, that their per unit costs are very low. That is natural monopoly. Condition for equilibrium of firm are MC equals to MR. MC should cut MR from below. Yes. So now, my dear friends, in number 96, what will our answer be? It will be D. MC equals to MR and MC should have a positive slope. So yes, if MC equals to MR and MC has a positive slope, it indicates that MC will cut MR from below. Correct. Stock exchange is a regulated market because SEBI is controlling it. Example of commodity to have an international market is perishable goods, no, local market. High value bulky article products whose trading is restricted by the government. Obviously, if your trading is restricted, how can you do? High value and small bulk. Like for example, Rafale jets India brought. You are bringing in some imported machinery. That is an example here in 94. Average revenue equals to nothing but price of 1 unit of output. Correct. I have been telling par for so long. Assuming that when price is rupees 10, quantity demanded is 55. So the revenue is 50. When price is 12, quantity demanded is 48. What will marginal revenue be? Resulting from increase in output from 4 to 5. So from 4 to 5, when it has gone, 48 to 50 it has gone. So change in total revenue is by 2 rupees. Answer is C. For market, the essential condition is close contact between buyer and seller. It's not necessary there has to be a physical geographical place to visit. Okay, which of the following statement is incorrect then? My dear friends, under monopoly there is no difference between a, which of the following statement is incorrect? They are asking which of the following statement is incorrect. Under monopoly there is no difference between a firm and an industry, because only there is one seller, that is the firm as well as the industry. May restrict output and risk. Correct. Commodities offered for sale under a perfect will be heterogeneous. Wrong. Perfect competition will have homogeneous products. Exactly the same. Which of the following statement is correct? Okay, so now we have to identify a correct statement. Price rigidity is an important feature of monopoly. It is oligopoly. Selling costs are possible? No. Selling cost means advertising cost. You don't incur that because there is already perfect knowledge there. Under perfect competition, factors of production do not move freely as they are legal restrictions. No, they are able to move freely. An industry consists of many firms. Yes, it's correct. Except in monopoly. In monopoly, there is only one firm and that is one industry. Now, if the average cost is higher than average revenue, firm incurs. Obviously, if your cost is greater, then obviously you are incurring loss. Obviously, you are incurring loss. Demand curve for a monopoly firm will always be downward sloping because they have to reduce price to increase the sales. The firm and the industry are one and the same in monopoly. I have told you, because it's the firm and the industry, that's the same thing. And guys, this way we have been able to cover all the 101 questions from the institute's material. I hope it has given you confidence. So in our next class, which is possibly going to be our last class, we will be discussing business cycle, and that will mark our end of business economics journey. So thank you very much for the day. See you next day. Tata, goodbye. Thank you everyone. Bye bye.